We've got a meeting in the ladies' room. Uh-oh, uh-oh, I'll be back real soon. That's what I think of whenever I think of Dante's mother. She just reminds me of she just had a really good time in the 90s. She seems like it was like her era. And I think it was just because of her makeup. That's what's giving me that tease. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good evening. Hello from London. Finally make it to a live saying ME. Welcome. Welcome. Also, Clementine says good evening to everyone. Clementine, I believe, is in Germany. So it's evening time in Germany. And we've got hello from Norway. Oh, 10 a.m. Pacific Coast time, California time, West Coast of the US time, and probably West Coast of Canada as well, is a good time for Europe. It's a good time for Europe. 10, 11, 12, 1. It's 1 on the East Coast. Okay, this might be a good time for a lot of people. Good morning, Connie. Good morning, new name I've never seen. Hello. The domestic gordita. Welcome. All right, you guys. So it is the morning time here in California. I have been up since 4. And then craving some chili oiled egg. So that is what I made for myself this morning, and bok choy. I'm on like a Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese food kick right now. I will be making like Thai street food later on, like maybe tomorrow. I'm going to be making like Chinese cucumber salad. Like I'm just really like here for some sesame seed oil and soy sauce at this moment in my life. So Carousel Queen, yay, made it live. Hi from Delaware. Hello. Yeah, TikTok has taken me down a rabbit hole. So I'm going to make smashed cucumber salad. I need to get my mirkin. I believe that's what the name of the sauce is. But I'm going to make dumplings. I've got a really cute ground beef dumpling, a recipe. All using chili oil. So the Thai is not using the chili oil. They want me to make it. Actually, the Thai is Annie's recipe for pla pao, which is a Thai street food of a like grilled fish that is stuffed with lemongrass and basil and flipped and like salted. This lighting, I hate it. I hate that this lighting goes in and out as though I'm not like full blast light on right now. Like there should be no reason that it goes in and out of like clarity. All right. So anyways, I'm taking Annie's recipe. I'm taking some recipes from TikTok and just kind of doing the damn thing. I went to this beautiful Asian market yesterday. It's one of the best supermarkets experiences it's lighting. It's one of the best supermarket experiences that I've had. Everything is so like colorful and bright, but I know nothing about anything in there. And it's so awkward. But I'm here to learn. You guys, as always, we're going to get started 5 minutes in. What if I just did this? Can it go in and out? If the lights are just here on my face. No, it still wants to. All right, let's take this down. Oh, hello, Karina. Somebody from Facebook. You guys, there are 40 people in this room. Please give this video a thumbs up. Please thumbs up this video so that other people who want to hear someone talking about love after lockup that's scrolling on YouTube right now can find my channel, okay? Help a sister out. I'm going to Vietnamese food today for my birthday, and Mom is from Vietnam, so I got some ins and outs. Ooh, okay, Espacia. Happy birthday, Aspasia. Happy birthday. Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to my recap of Love After Lockup Season 3, Episode 41, Sex Dolls and Booty Calls. I don't think I'm ever going to win with this lighting. I don't know how to make it not do that. I don't know how to make it happen. Anyways, okay. Where are my notes? Oh, here, there. Let's put everything on Do Not Disturb. Thank you guys for joining me on this wonderful Saturday morning. I am talking right now just to simply fill up some space because I'm doing some reconnaissance work on my phone, trying to put it on Do Not Disturb. But I'm all prepared with everything, so that should make you guys feel like Wah came to play today. In fact, I had this up, if you checked it out, this reminder for you guys last night. So she was prepared to get up and do work. She was not prepared to wake up at 4 and then fall back to sleep at 8:30. That's what she wasn't prepared of. Okay, so we are talking about Love After Lockup, as the title would indicate. Let me see. Does it say that? Oh, yeah, it says it. We're talking about it. So, all right. Thank you so much, Brazzle Dazzle, for being in the room. Brooke, Lynn J, all of the peoples are here. Okay, we've got Lindsay J, who is my moderator. We've got Ramsterdam, moderator. Tiana's somewhere, moderator. So I'll be moderating as well, but you guys don't feel free to hide people from my channel. Feel free to do it. Okay, so the first couple that we are going to talk about on today is these two, Josh and Courtney. So last episode, we saw Josh meet with his Mima Rose, or Grandma Rose, in order to kind of make amends before anything uncontrollable happens to her. And he's been really feeling bad about himself. And so it was like a little bit of a pity party of one, but he was trying to make amends with all the women in his life, him and Courtney and his grandmother. And so I'm starting to see another side of Josh, because initially I was like, oh my God, Josh is the perfect guy to come out. I'm was like, oh, I'm rooting for them so much. And then we hear that he has a temper, or he has moods. And then it was like a little bit. So in this episode, we've got Josh sitting on the couch playing video games, and Courtney states that all he does is sit on the couch from dawn till dusk and play video games. Part of me doesn't necessarily believe her, but she might be right. It's not that I don't believe her. It's not like I think she's lying, but oftentimes when you want something from someone and they aren't giving it to you, regardless of whether or not they're able to give it to you, emotionally able to give it to you, you can say that this is something that they do, and they do this all day long. Like, that's all he does. And it makes me sad that she's unable to talk to him about it. Oh, you guys, you can get your tea. Get your tea, because it's tea time. It makes me sad that she's unable to talk to him about it. I wish that she could say, Josh, I really want you to come on a walk with me. Maybe she has. Who knows? I could be wrong. But I just want to give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. And I think that it's interesting that, it's only been 2 weeks. We have to think about it. These people are shell-shocked. They're traumatized. Like, some of them are not, but a lot of them are. Regardless of if they have this exterior that makes it seem like they're big and bad and can do anything. A lot of them are traumatized. And even though that trauma doesn't stop them from doing the same things and going back into prison, it's still a trauma nonetheless. And so she goes wedding shopping because I guess she feels like if she does that, it'll make her happy. And Mama finally found a dress that looks good for her. And this is her whole face in it. Because she's just saying that she is not sure if he is the right one, if she's making the right decision. It feels weird, but she does love him. And she knows that when you're in love, you go through trials and tribulations. And this is just one of their trials and tribulations. And I'm just like, no, ma'am. The only time she gets with him is to quarantine with him for 14 days before he needs to go and parole at his cousin's house. He cannot parole at her house because she is 2 years on probation. So she's trying to, I guess, knock out a real wedding and somehow keep him in her house on the low. So, I don't believe that either A, they're going to last, or B, he's not going to go back to prison, or she's not going to get in trouble, because they're on a whole reality TV show. So somebody has to know. that they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Also, she has her friend Audra. Now, Audra is hype to look at wedding dresses, okay? Audra is hype. She is ready to show support for her friend, and that is a good friend, okay? As a good television secondary personnel, because what happened is the producers scouted that Holly, the wedding dressmaker, wasn't going to be the one to give the information and to provide, you know, that extra character in order to get Courtney to talk, right? So they were like, let's bring in Audra. Let's bring in the heavy hitter. So they brought in Audra, and Audra again came in with all the energy, and we didn't really hear too much from Holly, which is the first time. Normally, when we are doing 90 Day Fiancé and the dress is being tried on, they have the salesperson all up in the mix asking questions and being shocked on camera. Didn't happen this time. So basically, Courtney is hurt that Josh isn't giving her as much attention. She says she knows this, it sounds corny, but all she wants is for him to hold her hand. And I said to myself, have you told him that? And it sounds like she has, because she ends up saying that he hasn't wanted to have sex. Like, they've had sex a few times, but they haven't had that much sex. And so I'm just like, okay, this man is in a depression. It's a depression is what he's in. And it's unfortunate. And it's really nothing that you can do about it. You know, you could throw niceties his way all you want, but until he can crawl himself out of that funk, he's not going to receive your love or want to give love back to you. So this is another trial and tribulation you're going to have to go through, choosing to be with somebody who's been in and out of jail for 11 years. So I feel bad for her. I wish it were a better situation, but I think that there's just no way that he's in a position right now in this moment when they're filming to give her what she wants. And I don't know that it's going to happen within the next year. Right? He's got a lot. There's obviously something else going on. His grandmother is sick. You know, he's all of a sudden all this responsibility is going to be thrust upon him. I'm not sure how old Josh is, but a decade in prison, in and out of prison, doesn't teach you too many life skills. So I don't know that that is ever going to happen. Okay. Now, thank you, Brittany Nicole. I'm not able to watch live right now, but I was able to give this video a thumbs up. Thanks, girl. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it, and I wish everybody in this room would give this video a thumbs up. 90 people in the room. Whew, girl, let's do it. Don't worry, Miss Lady, you're not that late. Only 12 minutes. Of course, I didn't talk about the cherry on top. Listen, here's the deal, you guys. Unless, like, whatever I have to say about the most interesting set of people is so explosive that I have to talk about it initially, I won't. I will always start off with the more boring couples, or the couples that had the least amount going on, to give everybody the opportunity to get into the room to talk about the juiciness that I know that y'all want to talk about. I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I be producing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I need a little bit about, you know, the way things work, right? I don't think Josh is going through. I think Josh is going through something mentally. Oh, of course, and it's depression. It's probably anxiety. I knew he was full of it from the jump, but it's only 10 days. Yeah, it's only 10 days. Like, I don't think he's full of it. I think that people do not anticipate these inmates coming out with, like, trauma. He's not going to be CEO or have it all figured out in 10 days. Exactly. Oh my God, I got an amazing super chat. Lynn J. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Oh my God, you're so generous. You guys are all so generous. I 100% appreciate that. And if you can't give a super chat because it's acting up, I heard that about my 90 Day Fiancé. Lost Love in Paradise 90 Day Fiancé, 90 Day Vacation Bay, that you couldn't give it. Go ahead and just, you Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, you know what I'm saying? Just options. Okay. Kate is home with COVID. Girl, is you okay? Is you all right? Is you all right? Is you okay? I hope you have a speedy recovery. Are you, like, locked in your room? Is it low-key a much-needed vacation from your children? Obviously you're well enough and you're not linked up to anything, so that's good. Take care, and I hope the best for you, Kate. I honestly do. Okay, let's move on to the next couple. So the next couple that I want to talk about is, I don't know where the picture of her is, but Brittany and whatever this fool's name is. Ray? Yes. So, girl, Brittany done got up early in the morning to go and meet this man. And so did Miss Sue. And Miss Sue is his grandmother. So grandmother pulls up and Brittany's like, I don't know what's going on. And so she runs up to Miss Sue's car and is like, does Ray know you're coming? And Miss Sue was like, no. And Miss Sue, quote, says, surprise, I don't need a reason or an invitation to come and see my grandson get out of the halfway house. That's my baby. And I said, Miss Sue, you are absolutely correct. Now, she did not insist that he come with her, which I thought was nice, but she showed up. She showed up to show support and love. And listen, that's what a good family member does. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it, but she's going to keep an eye on Brittany because she feels like Brittany is some kind of user or abuser or manipulator. She feels like something's up with Brittany because, again, why do you need to go to the prisons to find you a man's is? And this whole online dating, you know, she's trying to protect Ray so that he can make the right decisions and not get caught up. Now, I don't see why she would need to protect Ray from Brittany. She has so much more foresight than me because personally, because upon first looks, I would not assume that Brittany would do anything to jeopardize Ray. And this is me, you know, not being, I guess, the best person. But if Brittany were a little bit more hood, if her car were a little more raggedy, if she had like 2 kids, I think then I would be a little bit like, what you want this fool for? What you want my grandson for? To draw him into some drama with some all this stuff going on. But because when I see Brittany, I don't identify her as being somebody who doesn't have her own shit together or doesn't have her own life together or somebody that is going to be harmful to my child. That means that Miss Sue is thinking much more on a particular mentality, a deeper level than I would initially think. And then my grandchild would be caught up with someone crazy because I didn't think about the fact that someone who's seemingly put together could not all be together up in here. So that is just what I think. JW says, I love grandma, but what does Ray really have to lose? That's what I'm saying. But it's because she's thinking about the fact that Brittany could just be good on the outside, but crazy on the inside. Snowy says, grandma is not the one to play with. She's not feeling old girl. She's not. Lynn J says, go subscribe to Wahima's other channel where she's going to talk about her single by mother choice journey and other things. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Ray is the one getting the come up. Yeah, but you know, and I think that's the thing is that, you know, we're all assuming that Ray is the one that should be so grateful. But grandma's like, at the same time, he still needs an advocate. And I'm going to be that advocate. So I see her. But I like the way that she's not being the way Quaylon's mother was. Like she's there, hovering in the periphery, like a demon or like a ghost, like the Babadook. You know what I'm saying? She's over there looking menacing, like watching to see what y'all doing. But not the Babadook, but like, you know what I'm saying? She's a presence, you know what I'm saying? She's a presence in the space, but she also isn't outright saying rude things to Brittany. She isn't fighting like a physical tug of war with Brittany. So I'm okay with that. Paris says she's not being aggressive, which is good. Again, that's a great way to say it, as opposed to comparing this woman to the Babadook. You're right. What? Hey from Germany, finally caught alive. Hey from Germany, we got 2 Germans or 2 people in Germany in the house. JW says, what does Brittany really gain from this relationship other than a warm body at night? Like, she gains that. She gains the fact that someone is going to need her, be indebted to her. You know, I think she thinks he's very handsome. And I think that, you know, some people like a fixer-upper. Some people want to be able to tell their kids that they went through, you know, wind and rain and sleet and snow to get to where they are now, and they're so happy. You know, she want to be able to at night look over and be like, Ray, you remember when I found you? You was just an ex-con who had a bad life and a tumultuous childhood, and then you found me. And I showed you the light. I made it better. And now we have this beautiful house and all these cheerings. Aren't you so grateful for me? I love you. That's what it is that she gets out of it. Brittany is a broken woman, and she can cause a lot of harm to Ray. She doesn't understand the situation he's in. She's not familiar with his predicament. Ashley Rain, it's another great way of saying it. Great. She gains a project, says Paris. You're right, she does. Max says, Brittany and Rachel are the most perplexing women I've ever seen on the show. Ha! I think that they're not the most perplexing for me, but what other women have we seen on the show besides Angela? Like Tony, you know, that Angela. And then, we've seen Amber. Is that her name? Yeah, we've seen Amber and Vince. With Puppy, and we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot. Well, Amber wasn't. No. What was her name? Chris called her Bird Bones. She had sex in the woods with Matt, who was a meth head. Remember when Matt was hanging out with his friends, and his friends like, Matt was cool in high school, but then he started with his trap house shit. And then Matt's mother, who was doing pretty well for herself and had given up on her son too a long time ago because she's like, he's a meth head. He had all my attention, you know what I mean? So yeah. Also, remember there was that girl, what was her name? Christine? Was that her name? The real skinny one who looked like her daddy? Family from Texas, but like not the Texas we see on TV, like the ding dong ding dong ding dong dong Texas. And then he took her to some like castle up in like Missouri or something, and she hated it because she didn't want it to be her wedding venue. Cheryl, girl, thank you, Cheryl. Woo, Cheryl, child, Cheryl. I think her man's name was Josh too. Anyways, I just went down a trip down memory lane. We don't need that. So anyways, so Brittany she's driving and she's like, ooh, I'm so excited. Miss Sue is ready to intervene at any moment, but you know, she's keeping an eye. So they get to the house and Brittany says something that I hate. I hate when they all say this. How do you like your new house? That's not that man's house. That is not that man's house. He didn't help you pay for it. He didn't help you pick it out. That is not his house. That is your house. And you are allowing him to live in it. And the moment he steps out of line, you are going to remind him that it is not his house. Now, unless you have actually been the foolish of the foolish and put his name on the lease or the mortgage alongside of you, that is not his house. And it's manipulative to say that. Stan is the same way, manipulative. Don't say it. It's not true. You can say, how do you like my house? How do you like the place that you're going to be staying? And like, also, why do you need him to comment? You know your house is nice. It's like, what is a man going to do? Walk into your house. What is this man going to do? Walk into your house and be like, oh, babe, I really love the decor. I love the way you did it all fancy for me. Now, unless Ray spent majority or some parts of his prison sentence looking through Good Home and Houses magazine and or like following a bunch of home decor pages on Instagram or Facebook, he's not necessarily going to have a baseline for that. That is a specific skill. I can walk into somebody's house and be like, oh, I really like the way you decorated this home. But it's very rare that most people's houses are not my style. They're just not. I like certain textures and certain looks that are way out of my price range. So my house, my space isn't a space that I like. And so for you to want praise for decorating a house is a weird ask. Like you want him to appreciate everything you've done down to the TJ Maxx candles And that's too much for me. If I walk into somebody's house who has decided to let me live with them, and their first thing is like, oh, what do you think of the house? Obviously, it is great. It is a house. It is a house that I get to live in. But it's not like I'm going to be like, unless it's that specific thing that I love, I'm not going to be like, oh, yes, this is exactly what I've been looking for and missing. Oh my God, look at this sateen cushion. Oh, look at this rug, the depth, the fibers, the thickness. I love this Oriental rug. Oh my God, you guys have a piano in the corner? I love playing chopsticks. I took 8 years of piano when I was younger. Oh my God, look at this fireplace. I cannot wait to burn fire in this fireplace. Like, what is he supposed to say? Thank you so much for providing this decadent lifestyle. Thank you so much for providing this artwork for me. Thank you so much. I love the B and the R. I love the fact that you brought this mirror here and you put it right here. Like, girl. A gullible girl says, I haven't seen you in a long time, girl. How are you? It also really bothered me that she was like, I thought he would be all over me. She seems kind of creepy and a predatory, and I really don't know why. I'll get to that. Max says, Ray's parents' house is way nicer than Brittany's. It looked good, but his parents was better. So I don't think, to be impressed. Paris says, they always say, oh, I expected you to be all over me, showing all kinds of affection. It's annoying. They always do say that. And the thing is like, the truth is that, what's his name? What's my homeboy? Lamar? Lamar was ready to get down with Andrea. But Lamar was grown. Also, Lamar had gotten down with her in prison. So, like, what's the difference between, like, Lamar and Ray? I don't know. It felt like when Lamar got out, he was ready. And Andrea was just being unnecessarily crazy. But didn't it feel like Lamar was and obviously at the very beginning, he made that mistake and he went back in. And then he was like, okay, for real this time, though. For real, like, I know for real I can't do anything crazy. For real. But, like, Lamar is one of those rare instances. There's something about him coming out of prison, and maybe he needed to get his head right, but maybe it's because immediately he had family and he had his studio. He immediately had the thing that he was looking forward to do the most. But anyways, so she says that she was thinking that Ray was going to be all over her, and because I guess of all the things that he said when they first, started talking or while they were talking. And I said to myself, you don't think that this camera crew being here is something? He's obviously a relatively shy person. That's clear. I can tell he's shy. I'm not sure if she can tell he's shy. Maybe because, again, he's whispering things to her that we don't necessarily see on camera. And, like, he wanted to eat, as somebody said in the comments. And, like, I just think that it was overwhelming. She wanted him to be something immediately that he was not. And I think it was just a little overwhelming for him. But then finally, after she made him look at the whole house and cooked him some pancakes, he was like, okay, I'm ready. And then they, like, had the scene where they shut the door in the camera's face. So Brazzle Dazzle says, most of the people on the outside, in my opinion, have issues. If they knew the inmate before they were locked up, it's another story. But those who met them while in prison and started dating, suspecty TT. I agree. Lamar liked that closet love. Rashana says, hi, Rashana, welcome. She wanted him to be in awe of her luxurious home. Yep. Nettie says, I think Ray really souped her head up. Oh, yeah, souped her head up when he was locked up because she was doing too much. Yeah. Mm-hmm. JT says she's thirsty AF. She is real thirsty. She just wants somebody. Snowy, or Gullible, was probably the look that she gave him. It's supposed to be sexy, but no, ma'am, it wasn't at all. She just looked like forlorn. She looked like she just like really wanted his affections. It's a mindset. My father did my father-in-law did 13 years. Once he was out, he was right as rain, never putting himself in places where he could get caught up. You have to be ready to change. Could definitely see that. I'm sorry, but why does nobody bathe before they want to do the do? I imagine that they do. Because the cameras need to fully get up on out of the house, right? They need to take the mic off and they need to like take the lights out, because it's not just a cameraman with like a camera that has a light on it. They full on set up life-size versions of these around. Oh, sorry. No. Can I show you? Life-size versions of these around the house. They've got softbox lights up. You know, there's at least the cameraman and 2 producers, at least. Not to mention a van full of equipment with somebody else driving that van. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not like they just all of a sudden just go and do the do. Like, it's a whole bit of production that we are just not seeing because they're strategically not putting the situation out so that they can be seen. I imagine they do go and shower. And it's not just like, get out of here, and they close the door, we hear a giggle, and then they shut the mics off. No, you give them those mics back. So, what else happens with them? That's it. They go and have sex. And, oh, you know what I clocked? Ray was like, 3.5 years since I've been with a woman. He didn't say it's been 3.5 years since I've had sex. So listen, I don't think that it is possible, and it might be. I'm not going to say it's not impossible, but I think that the percentage, I think that most people think that when you go into prison for a certain amount of time, let's say 2+ years, right? It depends on your libido and your sexual proclivity before you win it. Now, if before you went in prison, you were someone who didn't necessarily have sex all the time, like maybe you had sex 3 times a month, right? I don't know how often people are having sex because I'm never having sex. So like, I don't know what the normal for like a healthy individual in a relationship and a healthy sexual individual outside of a relationship. I don't know what those numbers are. Right? I don't know how often people like, you know, it changes, right? It depends on how old you are, your mindset, your partner, and if you have several partners. Like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what a healthy number is. I don't know. Single, not single, kids, no kids. I don't know. But I imagine, if I'm being generous, that someone who has a regularly active sex life before going to prison, meaning that, and it's a sex life that they actually enjoy and it isn't just like a robotic, crazy situation, you have sex maybe 3 times, 4 times a month. And so when you go into prison, you're not allowed to touch. Your whole life is regimented. And then on top of that, you're not getting that physical touch that you probably want or used to getting to and whatnot. So I'm not saying that men in prison or people that are in prison are just staying, they're having sex. Either they're getting it or they're giving it. It's oral or whatever it is, you're having some type of sex. I think it was very intentional that there is no way that a hip swing, Ray is good. Ray is good looking. There is a little twink in prison for him. Okay? There is a little man with a mean switch, okay, in prison that be ready to get down with Ray, either allowing him to enter or giving head. So I don't believe. Now, I don't listen. I don't care. I don't care to imagine. I don't care to think about it. But I think that the sex that's happening in prison is happening way more than what you think it is. So, anyways, there's that. Max says, I mean, it feels pretty uncomfortable if there are like 37 people in a room and with somebody who's eyeing me for sex. I'm very private, and I think Ray is too. I think you could find a private room 3.5 years. You don't think you can find a private place to have somebody go down on you? I think you can. My mom has been in prison for 20 years, and I highly doubt that she hasn't slept with anyone. I can't tell you. I've been in a relationship and we are celibate. Yeah, I don't know either. I do not know. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for agreeing with me. Oh, thank you. I also want to call you Lynn J. All the women inmates are doing it, so exactly. Listen, I can't say that I wouldn't, because I know I would. For affection, for physical affection, or for any kind of touch? Come on. Anyways, let's move on to the next couple. All right, so we did Josh and Courtney. Okay, the last boring couple is Anissa and Jeff. So we've got Anissa and Jeff, and Anissa is very excited because Jeff is finally being released from the halfway house. And girl, she got a tan so that it hides all of her flaws, okay? He has spent a few weeks in the halfway house, and she's very excited. Okay, she gets Jeff, they hug and they kiss, they get in the car, and they start to drive back to her place. She starts rattling off about the wedding and how she wants to get pink and purple roses and how she got a deal here down at the local spot, but she's going to check over here to see and blah, blah, blah. And this man is just like, This man don't care about no damn purple roses, okay? He don't care about this purple roses. He don't care about this wedding, okay? He is just trying to figure out how to solidify his life so that he has a stable place to land while he works through his addiction, okay? So he tells her, oh, we got to get approved to get married. And she's like, what? And he was like, yeah, we got to apply for it. And I said to myself, what? That sounds like something that all of the Trumpers need to be rioting for. That is a real reason for every red-blooded Republican, libertarian, I need the government out of my life situation that they need to be fighting for. That to me is a gross breach of protocol. Now, if Jeff is lying to try to figure out how he doesn't have to marry this woman, it would only behoove him, though, to marry her so that he could get half of her life, because it's not like she's going to make him sign a prenup when she eventually divorces him because he's either slipped back into his addiction or cheated on her. But that's beside the situation. But I'm just like, what? I was wondering the same thing too, JT. How does he chew? Anyways, right now I can only chew on the right side of my mouth because the fills on this side are wrong, and it's very upsetting. I can only do room temperature soft items. So annoying. Okay, anyways. So like, that is something that needs to be fought for. That is an absolute breach of this man's right. To get married? I think it's crazy that inmates are counted in populations so that they can change voting lines, but they're not allowed to vote. That's crazy. But actually telling somebody when they get out of prison that they need to petition and get marriage approval, that's too much. Anyways, so I call fraud on that one. So he gets to the house and she's like, you like it? And he's like, yeah, I like that porch. And she's like, yeah, the porch is dope. And I was like, what is this with this porch? Is it a deck porch? That's nice. They get into the house and she's like, what do you think? This is your new home. And he's like, oh, I love it. Again, this is your new home, which it is his new home, but it's not his house, which is, different than saying this is your house. No, this is my new home. So he's like, yeah, and I guess she wanted him to comment on the decoration as well. But again, like, this is sure a step up from the crack houses in which he has laid in. I imagine that Jeff has been in homes that are akin to Clint's home. So anyways, he puts his garbage bag of like clothes down and he's just like, yeah, I'm really happy about this. And then he opens up the refrigerator and he's like, I can have anything in this refrigerator. Look at all this food. I was just like, oh man, this man has been out of it for so long that he's excited about seeing a refrigerator with food in it. makes me so sad. It makes me sad when there are people who like haven't seen that. Like when I think about like when I hear stories or read articles about people like social workers or cops who go into folks' homes and there's no food in the refrigerator and there's nothing in cabinets, I am aghast. And I just feel so terrible when people have that mindset about food, you know? Oh, thank you so much, Vicky. I see it. Here it is. I didn't know. Oh, no, it didn't come through, girl. I almost missed this. Check your Cash App. You look gorgeous. He's lying about that petition. They need to give him subtitles because I can't understand one word he's saying. Oh, there it is. Victoria, I just see it come through right now. There it is. There it is. Just came through. I see it, girl. Thank you so much for the super chat. I absolutely appreciate it. She held out 11 years for this man. Clementine says, I think he's lying. I've been watching Live Up to Lockup for seasons, and that makes me an expert. I've never heard of it. Yeah, you know, we're all criminal justice experts at this point, right? We're also K-1 visa experts as well, as long as if you watch 90 Day Fiance, right? Ramster says there's a lot of people whose fridges aren't filled up. No, I know that in my brain, but whenever I like read it or see it, I'm just like, wowzers. And it just like brings me back to earth. And so it like gives me a little bit of sympathy for him and being like, dang, he's like excited about this refrigerator. And she's like, yeah. Like if somebody were to do that to me, I just think I would be like, oh shoot, I've got to reevaluate my situation, like, and be more sensitive to whatever it is that's happening in their life because they've come from a completely different social economic background than me. And I have to like make room for that. But anywho, so we find out that Jeff is not, we find out that Anissa is not shy in the bedroom, girl. Okay. This is their morning after obligatory scene where she's like, was it good for you? Did you sleep well? And he's like, yeah. Oh, I have pictures. This is the picture when he first got out of prison. So he got a whole haircut, you know what I'm saying? Got his face shaved. So he looks a little bit better than when we first saw him when he came out. And so the next morning she makes him breakfast and he goes outside to eat. And then Kyle comes up. And so he tells Kyle there's something that he hasn't told Anissa yet. And Kyle is just a little like, okay, well, you got to tell me, because we find out that Kyle is an ex-con. So Kyle says he knows what the game is like. Okay. And so Anissa makes him food. Then he has to charge up he has to sit next to a charger for an hour a day to charge up his ankle monitor. The same thing with Ray. They got to charge up their ankle monitor. He says that he hasn't had a sexual encounter with a woman in 37 months. 37 months. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, wait. 37. I don't know math. 24, 34, 35, 36, 37. So 13 months. So 30s? What's 24 and 24? 48, no? No, I understand what's happening. 24 months is 2 years. So 12 and 12, 24. And another 12. So what is that, 3 years in a month? Someone do the math for me. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. This was hard for me. This was a real struggle for me. And I want to thank those of you in the audience today for being here with me through such a tough and trying time. You guys really are real ones and you support me in my shenanery. Because someone telling me 37 months, like, what does that even mean? What does that mean? It means literally nothing to me. Woo! Okay, any woozy woozies. So, that was so ridiculous. 3 years, 1 month. So he hasn't had sex with a woman in 3 years and 1 month. So that means he's had sex With men? For drugs? In prison? Something about Jeff rings bisexual. If he was that hard on for drugs, then he would have done a lot of things for drugs while he was high. Oh, yeah. And I don't think that's bisexuality. I just think that he's like okay with it, because that's what he's be fine with it. I'm trying to get this money, trying to get this drugs, What is a living situation? They all live on the same property? That was odd. Yeah, they do all live on the same property. I imagine it's like an acre of land, and I don't know if she rents her trailer or, maybe they're just, she's bought the trailer but is renting the land. Not quite sure. But they don't live very far from each other. They share like the property's main grounds or whatever between her and Kyle. So, yeah. I think, LOL, that's what I do when I say my son's birthday, 48 months old. Oh, God. Should've known. I think he went back in 3 years ago, and he's been in and out for 10 years. Was it 3 years ago? I felt like it was like 8 years ago. I thought this last stint was a long time, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Okay, so let's say. So he's decided that he's going to bring Kyle in by telling Kyle a secret because he wants to keep his enemies closer. Okay? And so we don't know what the secret is, but apparently the secret is bigger than the fact that he is still talking to his girlfriend, Christine. Oh my gosh, Vicky, you are spoiling me. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yep. The only person who said that they haven't actually been or had sex in 11 years was Josh. He said, I haven't had sex in 11 years. I appreciate it, you guys. So before we move on to our amazing other couples, there are 196 people in this room. Can someone please tell me how many likes there are? Don't worry, I'll wait. Good morning, Calandra. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. Ooh, what a great story. He's married to Christine. You guys know that Christine is Chris's real full first name? So Jeff is calling Christine Farah. JK. Okay, 91. So we can get some likes. That would be awesome. Let me sing to you guys. Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. Thumbs it up. I said thumbs it up. Yeah. I mean, if you appreciate what I'm doing and you really do care about what I'm saying, you want people to know that I'm here and you want to support and you want to let the secret out about your friend Wah, just call me Wah here on YouTube. You want to like this video, please do so. All you have to do is exit the chat and click the thumbs up. Or you could do the thumbs down. You can do whatever you want. Engagement is engagement, boo. Engagement is engagement. Okay. It's free. It is free, says TJ Zim. It is free, para gratis. You know what I'm saying? No dinero to give the thumbs up. 104. I'm not going to fight with you guys to move on. I got things to do. 107. But thank you so much for those of you who did do the call to action and actually thumbs up this video. I do appreciate it. I appreciate you. Okay. So let's move on. Stan and Lisa. Stan has lost his whole mind, okay? This at this point is going to be a rant. If you watch the episode, you watch the episode, so you don't need me to tell you the rundown of what happened, okay? They leave the restaurant because all Stan wants to do is rub on Lisa's booty, okay? All he wants to do is rub on her and touch her and hold her, and he thinks that his hugs and his bony Mr. Burns kisses are going to sell her and make her more amiable to his desires and his needs. He promised her a bunch of stuff before she got out of prison, but then he acted up. And now she's going to secure the bag and ensure that he provides her the things that she wants in order for him to get the service that he wants, okay? He wants a sex slave. He wants somebody to go in that dungeon with him and tie him up and whip him. Then you're going to give her $5,000 so that she can get her car. And you're also, now that you've acted up and made her uncomfortable, going to pay for an apartment for her. That is what you are going to do. So let's just settle that right now. So that is the conversation that Lisa, who is a grown-ass woman, is trying to have with Stan, who's not acting like a grown-ass man. Stan is trying to ride this line between some fantasy and something that is real, some real love that him and Lisa have. No, he has an infatuation with Lisa, and he knows that she's the kind of person and in some kind of position to where she's willing to do this without having too much love in her life. Just a little bit of respect and some dignity and a peaceful, settled life, right? He's already kind of set up his boundaries, saying that he's not going to help her pay for her children or anything having to do with the chaos of her past. He would like her to, like a good WAP, or what is it, WASP? WAP. If WAP was offensive, I didn't mean that. WASP. Like a good, Anglo-Saxon Protestant, to turn her back on her family and move forward like that shit did not exist. Right? Which is such a, like, privileged, like, American ideal, It is such, I don't know. Do other cultures do this? I cannot speak to it. For the most part, Black people don't usually turn their eye up onto family unless A, they're having some sort of like money comeuppance, and it'll be easier for them to deny their family around their new friends, or if there's a lot of trauma, right? But for the most part, Black people hold on to their family. There is a toxic amount of don't forget where you came from in the Black family, which is crazy, because don't forget where you came from means that you're supposed to take care of people who didn't do anything for you, which is dumb. But there is still that hovering idea. Not a good WAP. Sorry. Well, yeah, I guess her good WAP, basically. But he wants her to be like whatever I imagine, this like group of privileged people who would just turn their back on their family because it was convenient for them. Turn their back on, what their past is because there's an opportunity going forward and they can't have the hanger-oners around. And that is what he wants her to do. I do agree with not getting that car until she gets a driver's license, though. But I know he's probably not trying to help her do that. Yeah, like he is just... Stan, the man. He's bigger, shrewder predator than Lisa. She was outclassed, no sympathy for either. I don't think he's shrewder because he didn't set down the terms. Like, she's trying to set the terms of their relationship and set it straight. And he still wants to pretend like it's a fairy tale. It's not. She's like, you know what this is. I know what this is. So here's what I want. And all he has to do is negotiate. If I were him, I would negotiate to pay her bills as far as what she has paid for the motels and stuff like that. But I wouldn't give her an apartment. I would, though, give her the money for the car. That's me. So anyways, he is telling her, all this stuff in the car. And then she sees the red and white. They're blue and red. She sees police colors and immediately has like a freak out panic attack because she says that every interaction she's ever had with the police has been negative. And I said to myself, wow, she has an experience almost very close to what a Black person might have with the police. So in this moment, I'm seeing, if we strip away the privilege of race and we just add the privilege of class, we're seeing two different people react completely different to a situation in which one person is worried that her whole life could be turned upside down at just as things are getting decent because he ran a light. So he's like, I'm not going to get you a car because you don't have a license yet. And that's so dumb, blase, blase. And she's like, don't worry, I will be fine. She's used to living on that side of the law. As long as his name is not on the car, he's not liable for anything. So he can give her the money. She can go ahead and get herself a car. Okay. And to me, his not understanding of her panic attack is kind of indicative of how he's going to be about their relationship and her feelings going forward. Someone you supposedly love and want to take care of is freaking out in the car next to you because they've never had a good interaction with the cops and they're worried that the cop is gonna, they're having irrational worries, right? Because of their experience in life. And she has to recognize that she's sitting next to a well-to-do man and the police isn't even gonna ask him who she is. Like, that police officer is like seeing this old 65-year-old man in a whatever, And Stan is so proud of his driving record that he feels that the reason why the police didn't give them a harder time was because of his stellar driving record. And I said, no, sir, the police didn't give you a better time, a harder time because you have a stellar driver's license. It's because of you're an old white man driving in a neighborhood in a, I mean, it's not the fanciest car. What is it? It's a Mustang. Like, that is why you got off on that. And they didn't ask you who the prostitute next to you was, because she definitely looked like she don't belong with him and that she was tricking. Let's be honest. So like, it just bothers me that he is crazy. Anyways, what does Vicky say? She's demanding too much up front. She could get more if she played cool and slowly brings her friends and family into the picture, but she's being a blatant gold digger. You do have long. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Vicky. However, I like the fact that she's just being upfront with it, because he's being blatant about what he wants to. He's bothering her about sex too. And so, I mean, the first thing he gets out, he's like, put on a wig and let's go downstairs. So he's being very blatant about what it is that he wants to. And I think that they might have had a conversation about their relationship prior to, about what it was going to be. And now she just wants it to be clear out in the open. And I can respect that. This long con thing is not going to necessarily work with her and him. So anyways, and the reason why I think that, Vicky, is because he's conning her as well. It'd be one thing if he was a lovesick puppy. And so, is she willing to do anything for her regardless? But he specifically wants sex from her and for her to be at his beck and call and to provide him cuddles and kisses and companionship for the next amount of time he has alive. Nettie says, I live in St. Louis with Stan. The police definitely didn't let Stan go because of his stellar driving record. Exactly. And that's what he truly believes. Truly believes it. Which makes him a delusional. Vicky! Stop it! Thank you so much. She also has to report all police contact to her parole and probation officer. Depending on the PO, it could be a violation of her parole conditions. Woo, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's why she was freaking out. Stan did not care. Abigail Lynn says the power dynamic is off and she's playing her only card. I ain't mad at her. I feel it too. Yep. I agree with that. I agree with that. Thank you so much, Vicky. I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate it so much. Okay, so everything gets cleared. He's good to go. They drive off. It was because he said he ran a stop sign or went through a yellow red light or whatever. So the cop pulls him over. And they get back to his house and he's like, come on, babe, let's go and lay down and cuddle. And she's just like, no. You see, that's what I'm upset about, is that the fact that this thing was happening to me and I was telling you that I was stressed out and it was going to be lights over for me, or, and you didn't care. Like, you did not care. I don't know. 15 felonies because you're white? I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. So, and he's just like, I don't want to hear any of this. Like, all of a sudden he goes into that mode where he doesn't want to hear what she has to say because he's very much about like not talking about your feelings, cover them up. Here's some money, be quiet. That is his culture. It's to not talk about feelings. And she has to, because she's a recovering addict and they need to talk about their feelings or else they bottle it up and make poor choices. Viejo cochino. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. He's an old, dirty man. Thank you, Brenda, for talking about it. Brenda, thank you so much. What? Viejo cochino. That is nasty old man. Okay? Dirty old man. That is exactly what he is. Exactly. Sharon says, been watching for reviews. Love your love after Lockup you. And when you made fun of Clinton Tracy, disgusting, gnawed down to the bone. I almost died from laughter. Aw. I mean, well, I know. I'm sad about Tracy. Oh, yeah, his nails were terrible. Oof, girl. Hello, Sharon. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching from Facebook. Okay. So like, yeah, girl, like, okay. And so here's another moment where I was like, oh my God, their class difference is coming into a place too, because she tries to talk about how she's feeling. He gets upset and kicks her out. And she was just like, there you go again. And he throws her stuff out, or he goes to hand her stuff actually to a producer. And the producers say, oh, let's get you a shot of you throwing it out the door. So then he opens the door again and throws it out. I caught that. The editor did not do a good job with that. And so listen, she does this to him and he backs up like he's scared. And I said, you know what? If Lisa gets one more Black experience tonight, I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay? I am like, Lisa, this is what happens to all Black women when they start to talk to anyone who's going to use the aggression card. All of a sudden, he's scared. All of a sudden, he doesn't know if she's going to hit him. Like no woman has ever, and maybe it's true, maybe in his entire life, because of his culture, because of his waspiness, like he's not had anyone get angry, especially a woman, get angry at him and gesticulate with their hands. Like maybe he just doesn't talk about it. Maybe you just like don't, you don't ever get upset. It's not worth it. You just act petty. You do whatever, maybe something different. But it's like when you're in a culture that is like gesticulates and has whatever, like for him to say that she was going to hit him when her action was just this, and it wasn't even all up in his face. Was I able to take a picture of it? Yes. Look at how far away she is from him. And this is him putting his hand up saying, don't you come close to me. All of a sudden, he's scared of her. All of a sudden, she's attacking him. And they're out in the front of her house. So she can't act up because those neighbors will call the police very quickly. And he is triggering her. He's triggering all of us by being like, whoa, back up. Loud enough for the nosy neighbor across the street to hear. Because they got like who next door and across the street definitely are out the window like, ready to protect Stan from his choices. So I felt for Lisa in that moment. I said, this man, and she said it. She said, I got to go because he's probably going to call the police on me. And that to me is terrorism. It's not terrorism. It is the use of terror or the use of fear to kind of get someone to behave in a certain manner, which is, really the definition of terrorism. But, people think of different things when they think of terrorism. That is emotional terrorism. Like she is now worried that if he gets upset or he does anything, he's going to call the police in order to save him and protect him. He is a full-blown Karen. I don't care. I don't care to talk about Stan anymore. I mean, I will, obviously, because it's really interesting. However, it makes me mad. It makes me mad that he did that to her. And I think it was wrong of him to do so. To flip. And she's like, you're crazy. She's like, you're not even drunk and you're acting this way. You're absolutely crazy. He is absolutely crazy. She tried to express herself and tell him how she felt about his behavior because that is part of her path. And he is rejecting her at every turn. And it's because I honestly think that he's rejecting her because it is not a part of his nature. Like he wasn't raised, I'm assuming, in a situation where people talked with their hands, where people had run-ins with the police, where, it's very privileged. And it is just like, it's too much for him to have wanting to be with somebody who has 15 felonies, been out of prison 7 times, and is from the other side of the tracks. Like he's not ready for that life. Okay. So that is all that I have to say about these two. And let's move on to, what we really came here for. And that's this. Dante looking sad at the dinner table when his mother asks those hard questions. Okay. So the next couple that we are going to talk about is Dante and what's her name? Nicole with 2 L's. Let me get a picture of them. These two fools. Okay. So we get a couple of insight from mom. I'm just going to go ahead and skip around in this segment. Mom says that Nicole looks exactly what she expected her to look like. A stripper type, a blonde stripper type. So now we know that he has a type, and it's specifically that. Then they get home. So they get back from doing grocery shopping because they're cooking for mom. And so Nicole's like, does your mom like salad? And I said, who don't like salad? Now I know people don't like salad, but like, what do you mean does your mom like salad? Like, yeah, she likes salad. Make that salad. She said that she's nervous to talk to his mother, that she really doesn't want to, but she's doing so because she loves him. And this is where you're like, oh, you're not real. You're not for real. How? You're not for real. What do you mean you don't want to meet his mother? You're in a relationship with this person. That is part of being in a relationship. If you don't want to be in a relationship, if you don't want to meet somebody's mother, don't be in a relationship with them, because that's what you're doing. You're going to meet their parent. I don't understand. Like, and like, he's been talking to her for what, 2 years or whatever? So like, yeah, it's not like they've been only talking for like a couple months, but this is an accelerated program. It's an accelerated situation. So yeah, she's going to have to meet his mom. Okay. So what is Abigail saying? He does not see her as a person. Is that Dante and Stan? Because I do think it applies for Dante and Stan. So let me get back to my notes for them. Does your mom like salad is my first note. My second note is they've spent major time together. But then I hear that she's only been out a week. So which is it? What do you mean major time? What is major time of a week? He said that they spent major time together and they haven't had sex still. That he's with her every waking moment. I'm like, you haven't been to work? She's with him every waking moment. No sex, and it's time to meet mom. So then Dante says, mom is going to eat and you guys are going to talk a little bit and then she's going to leave. And Nicole's like, promise? And he's like, promise. And I said, you can't promise that. Why are you making promises? Then she's like, okay. Well, since we're in here making dinner for your mom and I've been such a good sport by allowing you to be next to me and give me money, here are the mock-ups on how much it's going to cost for my breast implants. And he sees that it's going to be $6K and he starts to sweat. And she says, what do you mean? You don't want to told me. I thought it was going to be $8K and it's actually cheaper. It's $6K. And you don't want to told me that you would do all this stuff for me. And now you're acting like you don't want to do it and that it's too much money. Why'd you even offer it if you didn't have the money for it? First of all, I hate when people make it seem like somebody's broke because they don't have $6K ready to go for something frivolous, for something non-emergency. You see where he lives. You know he don't have $6K just sitting in the bank waiting for you so he could just give you some new titties. This man don't have a whole house. Like, he's still living in an apartment. What? So anyways, makes me so annoyed with this, with how she presented this, right? Because I feel like it's very production. I feel like production is a part of that. So he's like, I'm going to give you whatever you want, babe. I won't pay my bills. And I won't, pay rent. And she's like, you would do that for me? You would not pay your bills for me? And I thought she was going to be like, Dante, that's dumb. No, she goes, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And I said, girl, if he don't pay his bills, then where are you going to stay? And I mean, obviously she's going to stay with her mom, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it doesn't make any sense that you're excited for somebody to lose everything they have, giving you stuff. Cause then you don't care. You should be running them down to the ground. Oof. Great. So it's Tia's birthday. So she goes into the room to call Tia. Dante is obviously very upset. And she goes to call Tia because now she's irritated with him. Then she's like, what? That's my friend. And she goes into his bedroom to have the conversation with Tia, not the bedroom she's been staying in. And so she's like, I don't know. I don't want to be here. He's so annoying. Like, he irritated me just now, blah, 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 talking shit about Dante. And she was like, come get me. And then Dante's like, what? He's hearing this whole entire conversation, which leads me to believe that this is, again, a producer made up scenario. And then while she's doing that, she happens upon Nicole Jr. underneath his bed. And then she starts to tell Tia about how disgusting he is and how he has this blow-up doll. And I said to myself, you do not love this man. Stop saying you do. You don't love this man, okay? This is the face of a liar. I love your son. This is the look on. And then the mom's like, you love my son? I do love your son. And this is the look she makes. She don't love that man. She talking about him to Tia like he ain't shit. Like, he didn't just give her all this money and do all this stuff for her. Now, she didn't ask for it, but he still is better than for her to just bull-faced lie to him. So he then confronts her about the conversation, and then she tries to turn it around about the sex toy. She says, the reason why I wanted Tia to come is because I found this sex toy. And you're wrong. You're turning it around. I don't want to argue with you. That's childish. I hate when people do that. I hate when I see it on TV. I hate when I see it in real life. It doesn't happen to me because I immediately shut that shit down. If I'm talking to somebody and I'm telling them something and then they're like, oh, I don't want to argue. No, you do want to argue. You do. Because what you have stated is not a state of fact of how you're feeling. It's some made up something that didn't actually happen. So you do want to argue. So anyways, I don't want to argue. You do want to. It's like, yeah, Rashawn, it's gaslighting at its finest. Oh, come on now. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Jonna. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in such a long time. How are you, girl? Haven't seen you in a long time. Missed you around the block. Hope you are well. Hope you are well. She acted grossed out about the toy, like, and she knew about it. Exactly, JW. She absolutely knew about this toy. In fact, his mother knows about this toy. Her mother knows about the toy. So she's like, this is disgusting. Blase, blase. Argues and lies about the conversation. He says, you're not going to make a fool out of me, Nicole. And I said, too late. Too late. And so then she, give me a call. Give me all. And then he's like, you're not going to make a fool out of me, Nicole. And then because she asked Tia to come and get her, he's like, give me back all my shit then. You're in my house on my phone that I bought you. Like, give it all back. And I said, manipulating. Nope. You don't get to, you threw all this money at her. She took it. And now you're saying, oh, you don't get to call whomever and do whatever on my phone. And like, again, manipulation. You can't have it both ways. You can't give somebody everything, give them things, and then hold it over against them when they don't act the way you want them to act. Now, do I think that he should get his stuff back? Yes. But he doesn't need to make that the trigger. Get it back because you know she's doing you wrong. You don't throw it in her face every single time she does something. Okay, bye, Natty. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. You left off at an hour and 12 minutes, so come back at an hour and 12 minutes. Okay. So I don't want to argue with you. That's childish. Just another blonde stripper. That's what the mom says. So his mom gets there and they have whatever it is that they're eating. And before she actually gets there, they both decide they're going to have a little bit of an alcoholic beverage to calm their nerves because they're so, nervous. Mom gets there and they sit at this tiny ass table. Look at this small ass table, this small ass dark marble table. Who helped him pick this up? Is he sitting on a folded chair? He looks like he's praying over the meal, but he's not. He is awkwardly in between these two women because his mother is asking questions. Okay? He's like, Mom, don't ask her that. Mom, don't ask her that. And the reason why is because you don't want to know the answers to those questions. Dante, you don't want to know the answer to those questions, which is why you're so awkward with it. Because they're good questions that every mother should ask. Now, Dante going to say that he's too grown and that he understands his mother loves him, but she needs to back out and let him live his life. And she's like, that's fine, but you keep making the same mistakes. So what am I supposed to do? And so Dante ends up talking about the fact of this Chelsea girl. And Nicole says, I'm really tired of being compared to Chelsea. And Dante says, well, it's hard because it feels like sometimes you do things that remind me of Chelsea. And then Dante's mother was like, but you went back to the website. And he's like, Mom, whose side are you on? And she's like, look, I'm on the side of what's right. I'm on your side, but also you've made mistakes and you've made these choices that have gotten to you where you're at right now. So that's what side I'm on. Then Nicole says, I really do love your son. And Mom's like, well, what do you love about him? She could not answer. Thank you so much for the super chat. Me, not me. Mom told the truth up until telling that girl was obligated to sleep with her son. That was sick. Whoo, girl, that was sick. Women just perpetuating monogamy. I wasn't there yet, but thank you. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because that's where Mom lost me. That's where it was disgusting to me. It was definitely disgusting to me at that point. So Mom says, what do you like about my son? And she's like, oh, your son is a gentleman. You know, you really raised him right. And I'm just like, if I'm the mom who had a good ass time in the 80s and living her best life right now, and this little 22-year-old, 23-year-old is sitting across from me telling me that I raised a good kid. Yes, I did. Yeah, and what? What does that mean? I did. Yes, thank you. Now, what do you love about my son? Now he gets awkward about that too. He's like, oh, I don't want her to, you know, mom is too much, blah, 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 blah. And then she says, you didn't love him enough. Like, she's like, you've been in prison for 4 years and women are just as horny as men. And now you're out and you've been out of prison now for what, a week, and you don't want to have sex with my son? I don't believe that you don't want to have sex. I believe you don't want to have sex with my son. And Nicole's like, I have anxiety. I don't want to be touched right now. Like, it's a lot for me. And mother is not understanding that at all. And that is a problem. That is the reason why Dante is manipulative and holding things over on this girl the way he is. It's because his mother has co-signed his misogyny. His mother has co-signed this sickening behavior, regardless of the fact that Nicole is using that man. If she says to you, and regardless of the fact that she's telling the truth or not, if any person says to another person, I am feeling anxiety, I do not want to be touched like that, and I specifically don't want a foreign object inside of my body, you should respect that. Period, point blank. Done. So Mom says, well, then you weren't feeling that way when you took all his money and did all this stuff. And I said, what does those two things have to do with each other? What did I say? I wrote it down. You're scared to have sex, but you wasn't scared to ask him for money. What do those two things have to do with each other? People ask for money every day. What do those two things? You weren't scared. You're scared to have sex, but you weren't scared to ask him for money. So are you saying that women should get like, okay, so what that is inferring is that if you ask for money from a man, you should be willing to have sex with him. What? Is that for everybody? Is that just for Nicole? Is that for all women? Is that for women and men, men and men? Like, what are we saying here? She's been out for a week, maybe 2. Even if she was out for 2 months, it is his choice to give her money. She can ask for it. Dante does not have to give. And the reason why he is giving is because he wants to keep his princess in her tower, which she's not even in the tower, girl. She's like roaming around the land. He wants to keep his princess in the tower and keep her satiated. How long does he think that he's going to be able to keep this up? That is not sustainable. No matter how much money he throws at this girl, she's never going to love him the way that he wants her to. Dante is not going to ever be successful with this type of girl. She a hustler. She's trying to get her money and get it quick. Easy come, easy go. Lin J says, I believe that she told him that they would have sex and turned around and says, no, he should have left then. Yeah. Again, she's being seen as someone who can be bought, and it's not right. I don't think Mom sees through the BS with her. There's a lot not right, but they're both wrong in this. And they're both coming at it from a certain perspective that is just like crazy, because Dante has the right to say no. It's not like if he says no to her, she's going to shoot him or take all his money or something. Like, none of that is going to happen. So there's no reason besides his own want to have a specific looking woman for him to do that. It's the I've been buying you drinks all night and you're not going to give me none vibe. Oh, child, I could buy my own drinks. So I guess the dinner went well in his mind. They're in the car. Mom has gone home. And he says, dinner went well. I think it's time for us to take the next step, which again, I'm like, how long has it been? Because I feel like you told me it was a week and now you're acting like, what next step? He's like, you need to come move with me. And I'm like, again, she does not need to do that. Hey, John. Hey, boo. I know I've already told this story, but John and I met at Crate and Barrel in Beverly Hills, and we had a good ass time. So like, what is it exactly that you think is the next step? He gonna tell his mom that Nicole is her future daughter-in-law slash mother of his children. Ugh. No. So they're in the car. Nicole is rolling her eyes at everything that he says about that night. And then he tries to pull her in for a kiss and he reaches all the way over on her side and she stays on her side and like gives him like a, okay, bye. And then she gets up and goes towards the house, but she doesn't want him to walk her to the door because she says her mom is asleep and the dogs are going to bark. So he needs to stay his ass in the car while she just goes up to the house by herself because the dogs apparently aren't going to bark when they see her, but they're going to bark when they see him. The dog's been knowing you a week too then, sis. I'm so confused. So Dante then drives off, but then he's like, she just went and sat on the porch. She doesn't never sit on the porch. All the time I've known her, she's never sit on the porch. And I said, a week? The week you have known her? Someone needs to give me a proper timeline because I don't need you lying and tell me how long it's been. I've never known her to sit outside. Girl, listen, I don't sit outside but once a month, but I sit outside. And that doesn't mean you need to be suspect. So he turns around, he sits down in his car and he hides. And I don't know how she don't see the whole camera crew, but they got all the cameras on her. And then someone pulls up, girl. I think it's Zach. Someone pulls up, girl. And Nicole gets up from her seat in front of the house and walks over to the car to go ahead and get in. And Dante pulls up and he's like, Nicole, are you effing kidding me? And that is the end of the episode. And I'm just like, so good. So good. We did not get any Dougie and Dougie Jr. and Rachel this episode. And I didn't miss them, honestly. I forgot that whole situation was about to go down. So next episode is going to be good. So if we get Dante and Doug next episode, it's going to be a good episode. So you guys go ahead and definitely tune in. He's definitely giving passive misogyny, which is loathsome. He is the epitome of the movie Can't Buy Me Love. He assumes that he's being the nice guy and paying for things with, yes. Yes, alive. I've been on for an hour. You've got to hit the notification bells. I go live. I'm going to try to make it standard, but I go live on Saturdays at 10 a.m. to talk about Love After Lockup, as long as I've seen it before the show, obviously before 10 a.m., which I did. YouTube makes it super convenient. Nicole was also smoking a cig too. Yeah. Yes. I don't think he's crazy. I just think he's filled with a lot of sexist and misogynistic ideals. And there is something that was going around that he was on the spectrum somehow. Not sure. Wow, what was that you made for breakfast? No, Rashana, thank you for asking. So I have fallen down, as I said in the very beginning of this video, I have fallen down an Asian food and rabbit hole. And so I made something called chili oil eggs, which is all over TikTok right now. Where we already had the chili oil because my sister's on an Asian food kick. She's been making bomb ramen the last couple of days. So if you've ever seen me posted, a picture of a bowl of ramen, my sister has made that. Okay? She'll be grilling onions, chopping up mushrooms and everything, and preparing it and making those eggs where like it's like hard on the outside, but runny yolk on the inside. She's been doing that. So I then was like, muy interesante. So I went to the Asian market yesterday and I was going to make two dishes. I was going to make one dish. It was a Thai dish from Annie and David's show on Discovery Plus called Foodie Call. So they were very sexual in that episode, but I took notes and I'm going to make some pla pao, which is a Thai street food with grilled fish and like wrapped in lettuce wraps. So I'm going to make that. Miriam, no, I do not have a wok. but I saw one at the Chinese market. So I might get, oh wait, we do. Listen, here's the truth. There's every single contraption in this house somewhere. Where it all is, I do not know. This morning I got up and I was like, oh, I'm going to make rice. Didn't know where the rice cooker was. Okay, because I don't know how to make it regularly. I also didn't know where the rice was because I don't cook. You know, it's not my kitchen. That kitchen belongs to my dad and my sister. Okay, I just clean it. I don't cook in it. I do, but I don't enjoy it and I don't do it often. That's why you always see it when I do cook, because I'm like, look, guys, I'm doing a thing. So anyways, I woke up at 4 a.m. because I was hungry. I made it. So we had rice, but it was like rice on beans. It wasn't like actual like white rice. Oh, sorry. Breaking news. Miss Lady said on YouTube that he isn't on the spectrum. He's tired of hearing it. Someone in this chain when I was talking about it 2 episodes ago said that he did say that, which is why I said that. So maybe I'm wrong. I'll take it back. Are you going to talk about the preview of the new season of Life After Lockup? I haven't seen the new preview, girl, because I haven't actually been watching WeTV. I've only been watching the episodes that are posted here on YouTube. So that's why. So yeah, anyways, so I made that and I put it over some rice and beans, which again, wasn't like regular white sticky white rice. And then I also made some bok choy on the side and it was good. If I do say so myself. So I have to make some for my sister because she always makes me food. And this morning I full on, and it was too much too. I didn't need 2 eggs. So you just cook the chili oil in the skillet, then you drop in the egg and then you put the lid on it so it cooks and then you put it over rice. And then I made some bok choy on the side. It was good, girl. Girl, I went to the Chinese market, got me some sesame seed oil, got me some soy sauce where I can't read nothing of what's happening on the outside of it. It was so crazy being in the store and seeing the things, but not knowing what most of it is and really trying to like just integrate and figure it out. And I was like, oh, I don't know what is happening here. And this one man who worked there, who was like Latino, he was like, you need help? And I was like, sir, you know I do. He was like, what are you looking for? And I was like, well, I'm looking for this and this. Girl, they had the whole fresh fish. They had a tank full of lobsters, crabs, tilapia, live. They had like tanks filled with that stuff. So it's a really good place for like some fresh seafood, but I couldn't know. It was too much. I couldn't do the seafood, but next time I will. Oh my God. Once you get used to making rice with a rice cooker, it becomes so much harder just to make it. I've never been able to make it regularly. So that's why I've always used the rice cooker. But yeah, so I did it and I'm feeling real good about it. And Aspasia said that she's half Vietnamese. So she's going to give me some information if I want to make some Vietnamese food. So I'm excited about it. I'm going on a, you know, I go through phases where like I'm making a lot of Arab food. I'll make like kitbi and I'll make like hummus and I'll do the pickles and the radishes and I'll do all that. And then there are times where I go on kicks of other cuisines. And right now I'm on an Asian cuisine. I found a recipe for ground beef dumplings and I'm going to make them now that I know where the store is. And I have an idea of the aisle in which the dumpling wrap is in. Yeah. I even saw like a bamboo steamer and I was like, ooh, should I get a bamboo steamer? So yeah, anyways, that's the kind of kick I'm on right now. All right, you guys. Well, that is the end of this episode. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me for the last hour and a half. I will see you guys on Sunday for Love in Paradise, the Caribbean, #90 Day Vacation Bay. And we're going to talk about that show. And then someone else told me to watch this show that's on Netflix and they want to get my opinion on it. So I'm going to watch that show. My sister also told me that Love is Blind is back, like the 2-year reunion. So I should watch that show. So I might have more content for you guys next week because I actually on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I was like, I could go live right now. Like I could go live. I've only had something to talk about. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Thank you, Lynn J. Thank you to my moderators, Lynn J. Ramsterdam, Tiana for hanging in there with me today. 10 a.m. seems like a great time to go live. You can get a lot of people to join at 10 a.m. It works for most, time frames, but I don't know that I can do it any other day besides either Sundays or Saturdays. So we'll see. You guys have a wait, yes. What time is it ish? Amsterdam, it is 11:30 a.m., 11:28 a.m. in California. So don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, you guys. I have 144 likes. Thank you so much, Calandra, for letting me know that. And if you like my content and support my stuff, you can do a super chat. You can give to any of my money apps. So I've got Venmo, I've got PayPal, and I have got Cash App. All right. Y'all have a fantastic day. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic week. Remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Oh, and so much thank you to everybody who gave me super chats. Me Not Me, Vicky Vale with the overabundance, Jessie Lee. Was it Lin J or Jessie Lee? Lin J. Thank you for the super chat. I absolutely appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day.